and welcome to the Little Drops of Wonderful podcast. This is where I share roundups of all of the knitting and crochet and crafty creative things that I've been up to over the past few weeks. My name is Ali and I live in a very southeast of the UK with my husband and my two daughters. They're currently both on summer holidays from school, so they are downstairs. It's 5:30 in the afternoon and it's really hot. It's the hottest part of the day at the moment. It is 29 degrees and blazing sunshine through the windows that are directly in front of me. So the blind is slightly down, so the lighting is going to be a bit weird. It's too hot to put makeup on, so I haven't bothered. My hair needs dyeing, so I'm grey, and I'm just generally feeling a bit... So I just started choking there, so I had to cut that out. But I'm generally feeling just a bit dishevelled and hot and bothered. I've had to close the windows because it's quite noisy. There's a breeze coming in, it makes the blind bump about, you can hear cars going past, but mainly you can hear sirens because, well, I'll put a thing on the screen about what is currently going on out the front of my house now. Well, I shot this video about 20 minutes ago and I just went and had a look now. The smoke has now turned white, so that tells me that the fire brigade, who have been in attendance for the past few hours, have got it under control. I'm not sure what has gone up. It's somewhere on a big long road that just runs parallel to ours. There's a lot of farmland and everything is parched at the moment. We've got a hose pipe ban, we're not allowed to water the garden with hoses and so on. Just trying to conserve water because we haven't had rain in a long... I can't remember. I think we had rain for about 10 minutes last week. And that's the only time in weeks. And everything is just... It looks like autumn because some of the trees have actually died and gone brown. It's really weird. Anyway, this is episode 90, which is a nice round number and also about the same as the temperature. If we're talking in Fahrenheit. Anyway, I'm wittering on. Thank you for joining me and welcome to all the new subscribers. I've had quite a few new subscribers recently, so welcome. Hopefully that little introduction covered everything. Oh, I didn't say where you could find me. I'm on Instagram as Starry Eyes Ali, but I'm taking a little break over summer from that account. And I'm really behind on messages there. So if you've messaged me on Instagram and I haven't responded, I'm really sorry. I've got probably well over 50 messages to get to on there and I'm really sorry if I haven't, but I'm taking a bit of a break over August into September. I am occasionally publishing on my new account, which is all about walking and outdoor adventures, and that is Alison Wondersland, which I still think is the most genius name I've ever come up with. If you want to follow me there, that might be a bit more regular over summer. I've been paddleboarding, so I covered that on there. And I also vlog every week on my other channel, which is This Little Wonderful Life, where you can keep up with what we're up to and adventures. And there's going to be a lot over the next few weeks, so make sure you tune in there. Okay, let's get on with it, shall we? That's nearly four minutes of wittering already and I haven't even got started. So let's get finished. Let's get started with some finished objects, of which I have kind of one and some sewing finished objects. So I'm going to start with my kind of finished crochet project. I'm going to have to open a window, you know. It's so hot. I'll see how long I can endure it. I wanted to show you my new mug by having my cup of tea in it, but it's so hot I can't have a hot drink, but I will show it to you anyway. This is from Susan. It's Maritime Family Fibres, which is a place in... I've forgotten. It's gone out of my mind. Oh, I can't remember. If I do remember, I'll put it, when I'm editing, I'll put it on the screen. But it has a lobster on it, and if you've been around for any length of time, you will have picked up on the fact that I'm slightly lobster obsessed. We're all slightly lobster obsessed. We have a lot of lobster decorations about, so absolutely love this. Lovely size. I've been enjoying my tea out of it in the mornings, but I'm not drinking tea now. I've got a nice cold fizzy squash. A couple of people asked me what squash is. It's like cordial. It's sugar-free cordial. and I just make it with fizzy water. Right. My first almost finished object is living in my giant bag that I got when I did a swap with a martyr many moons ago. It's perfect size for a nice big project. It's the perfect size for a nice big project, which is not the project I was going to tell you about. This is a different project, which is a work in progress. Where's the one I want to show you? Oh, this one. This is living. Goodness me. I'm not going to start again because this is just the effect the heat has on me. I can't bear it. I cannot bear it. I cannot wait for autumn. I will not stop complaining about the weather. This gorgeous bag is by Hannah of the Hannah from Sheep's Alley podcast, and we did a swap and I got one of her magnificent bags, and it's the perfect size for my almost finished project, which I have been working on for about 6 years at least. And it is my corner to corner Moss Stitch crochet blanket. And it felt like this was, well, it was a really, well, you know, 6 years. It is a slow going project, but it was because it's all worked in single crochet, which is in fingering weight as well, or 4-ply weight as we say here in the UK. So yeah, it was a slow growing project. It is a rectangle. So it is an oblong. It started 5 or 6 years ago in this corner. There was a little bit of an error here where I've got a bit of a wibble, a little wave, but I'm going to do a border on this, so that'll get hidden by that. And then I've been working really hard to get this finished down here, and I purposely did a darker colour in this corner because I started with a darkish colour in that corner. And I really love it. It's a lovely drape, this stitch, and I love how utterly bonkers it is. I've made it with all different minis from my vast collection of minis, and I've just made sure I've chosen a lovely eclectic mix of colours, and I haven't tried to be matchy at all. So I love it. But now I've got to decide how I want to do the border. Now originally I thought of doing a dark border, plain, all the way around, to try and make it look like it was like a framed piece of art. But actually I think what I'm going to do is continue in the same way and use minis and moss stitch, but straight, to make an edging, a moss stitch edging, and continue in this eclectic sort of way. I think that's what I'm going to do anyway, but let me know what you think. Do you think that would finish it off nicely, or do you think maybe one plain colour might be nice? I'm not sure. I think if it's been bonkers and eclectic for 6 years or so, there's no reason to stop now. there's no reason to try and make it sensible now, is there? It's too late for that. But do let me know in the comments what you reckon, or if you've done something similar and what you did. I'd love to hear. Doesn't it look great? Oh, I love it so much. And there's so many minis in here that have got such lovely memories attached to them, and oh, I just love it. Love it. This one here, I dyed myself a couple of summers ago. You see this blue one with the green and yellow and pink splodges? So that is my own Dodgy hand dyed yarn, and I called it Fahrenheit because I solar dyed it. So I put the dye in the water with the yarn and speckled it, and then I put it out in the hot sun to dye. I've done that for the last few summers, but I haven't done it this summer, even though it's been the hottest ever. I've been focusing on other ways, I think, to try and cope with my low mood in summer, and it has been working. I speak a lot about this on my other channel, so I won't go into it now, but if you do suffer from summer seasonal affective disorder and it's something you feel alone in, I would suggest going over to my This Little Wonderful Life channel and having a look there, because you won't feel so alone anymore. There's a lot of us. Oh, there's a little sunbeam when I do that. So that is my kind of, I mean, it's a usable blanket, I just need to pretty it up. Finished object. The other finished objects, I'm calling it 3 finished objects, but really they're all the same thing. I made some dodgy bags. So I love to sew bags, I'm just not very good at it. And this is the dodgiest and simplest type of bag that I make. I just cut a pattern out of some paper that was this shape, and that's it. There's no box bottom or anything. It's got just really simple drawstring casings, and I've made 3 of these. One is as a gift that I have owed someone for well over a year and I think the other 2 will probably go as prizes later in the year. They've all got different linings, so this one's just got a plain grey. They've all got different interfacing as well, actually. This one's got a plain white, which is actually old school shirts, because I always save the good bits of old school shirts. And this one has got a plain khaki green. Such weird lighting in here, I do apologise. And of course it's got lovely lobsters, and this lobster fabric has gone a long way. It was a gift, I think, from lovely Claudia of the Crochet Luna podcast, who I run the Dodgy bag mail with every year, which is so much fun. All I've got to do with these bags is I want to make little tabs to finish off the drawstrings with this same fabric, but that's going to be an after the summer holidays job. So that's my 3 other finished objects, which puts my total finished objects up to 3 3/4. Let's be lenient and say 3 3/4, but that is it. Now we're going to talk about works in progress, and I've actually got a special guest for this bit, so I will call her up in a minute, but I'm going to show you mine first. So the first thing I want to show you, or shall I start with something I've not shown you at all? Well, my litmus cow. Have I brought up the litmus cow? Yes, it was actually over there in a bag that I've got, that I'm packing for holiday, because this, I haven't made much progress on my litmus cow. Isn't this a lovely bag? This was a gift from Anne, and oh, and I've got my little chicken. This was from my fellow chicken whisperer, Suzanne at Green Lambkin Yarns. I think it was for my birthday. I got this beautiful bag from Anne, and then with some minis that I got for my birthday from Hilary, and the minis are from a dyer called Henny Penny Makes, and they are so beautiful. I've got them all in this little bag just to keep them from getting all tangled up, so you can see there how beautiful they are. And I'm going to use these to make my litmus cow, and I've got some plain grey Cascade Heritage. Yeah, just Cascade Heritage grey yarn, which I had in stash. Get that back in there. Go back in. And I'm striping it with the minis, so this is what it looks like. It's looking lovely, actually. So the litmus cow is, you knit it in the round, and then you join it, so you have a tube that you can then wrap round like a double thick scarf. It's a pattern by Jude at Stranded Dye Works. I don't know why I couldn't think of that then. It's only like one of the most famous yarn dyers. So that's how it's looking. I haven't made a huge amount of progress. It's a delightful project to work on because it's so simple and so satisfying, because you change your yarns quite a bit. Oh, there's a little mistake there. Oh, well, we don't mind those things. No one's going to see it. And that's going to be my project that's coming on holiday if I fancy doing a bit of knitting in the car. We're going to Lancashire, so the journey's going to be about 5.5 hours, which is better than usual, because normally if we're driving we're going to Scotland, which takes, well, all day, like 9 to 12 hours. But if I fancy doing a bit of car knitting, this is going to be the project. But mainly I'll be taking my sketchbook on holiday, because what I want to do on holiday is more sketching than knitting or crocheting. Hopefully. I probably won't have time for either. So I'm going to throw that back in the packing pile. That's Litmus Cow. I've made a little bit of progress on the project that's in this bag that you've already seen. Oh, and it's Lilia's birthday dress. Oh, look, what is wrong with me? I put the corner to corner blanket back in this bag again. Why? Maybe it's because I know in my head that this is a better size for a blanket than a dress, and I'm mentally swapped them already. I don't know. What's actually living in here is the dress that I'm making for Lilia. So I am making this out of Shackenmeyer Catania, which is a double knit yarn, a double knit cotton yarn. Is it double knit? It's category 2 fine. I think that is DK. Shackenmeyer Catania. And the pattern is by Hook Loops, and it's one of the most, I bought it on Etsy, and it's one of the most unusual patterns I think I've worked on, but the designer has been super helpful. I only got stuck once, and I messaged her, and she was so quick and so helpful in responding. And the colours are inspired by the version made by the Silver Knot on Instagram. So you've seen this a few times, and last time I think I just started on the pink, and I've made quite a bit of progress with the pink, and that is because it's still a secret. It was supposed to be for my eldest daughter's birthday at the end of March, and I didn't get it finished on time, but she still wants it to be a surprise, so I can't work on it when she's around, and she's always around. Especially now she's finished her GCSE, she's just always here. But she's had a few sleepovers and nights out with friends recently, so I've been able to work on it then. And also it like earlier in the mornings. So, we try and show you where it is. So this is, it's just it's hard to show. This is very difficult, but it's basically like a mini length at the moment. So it needs to be, I think, the pink that I've done, it needs to be that again, in order to be about the right length. It is something she's going to wear something underneath, and then once it's the right length, I can then do all the cream trim that goes around the top here. Yeah, so I'm loving working on it. I just wish I could do it, I wish I could work on it more often. And I have said to her, you know, that it'll be even more delayed because I can't work on it when she's around, but she doesn't mind. She's very easygoing, is our Lilia, so she hasn't taken after me, let's put it that way. And yeah, and I should have said, I didn't say at the beginning, but it's called the Mystique dress. Why has my camera screen gone dark, or is it just that the sun is out and oh, it's because it's overheating. It's because it's so warm in here. All right, I'm going to turn it off for 10 minutes. You won't notice. Okay, we're back, and we have the added ambiance of next door's dog barking its head off now because he's been left on his own again. Deep breath. So I apologise if you can hear him. So the next work in progress was a bit of a last minute thing. Where have I put it? Oh, it's here. It's in a lovely bag that my friend Gaynor made for me, and she's even embroidered a lobster on it. How cool is that? And because it was by my friend Gaynor, I've got a little badge there that I bought in Bristol on the day that that she and I and Cherie from the Ollie and Bella podcast. So Cherie is Ollie and Bella podcast, and Gaynor is Tales from Cuckoo Land. And we met up a couple of years ago now in Bristol. Must have been before the pandemic. Yeah, it would have been. And we had a lovely day. It was brilliant, and I bought that little badge as a reminder. And I think this was a birthday present at some point after that. So in here, we had a load of family over this weekend because we were celebrating our traditional new family celebration called Himimpenyo Day, which I made a vlog about actually. I've got to edit it. It's supposed to be out this week, and because of that, I was working on a project which didn't have a bag, so I just scooped it up and popped it in here. 2 projects actually now, because I started another one this morning. Okay, so Elaine sent me a link to a free pattern for a hat. Okay, and I thought, oh, I quite like the look of that. I might give it a go. I've got lots of lovely cotton yarn, and I thought it'd work well, even though the pattern doesn't call for cotton yarn. I thought it would work well in cotton yarn. However, I think my gauge is somewhat off. I don't think I even actually tested my gauge. I think I just got stuck straight in. But it is the kind of project where I feel I can adjust it a bit. So it's a crochet bucket hat, and it is so it's called the Bucket Hat. It's by Esther Miss DIY, and it's on the Katia website, and it's free. And I'll put a link to it in the description box underneath, and I'll also put a picture on the screen because this is a really dodgy black and white copy. So it's got a kind of circular top, and then the sides are made up of granny squares, and then it's got the brim. So I've made the circular top, which looks like this, and I'm just making up the colour combinations as I go. So I've got white and 2 different types of beige, basically. So you can see how that then, what part of my head that covers. And then you make 8 granny squares. There's one more round to do on these granny squares, and then that forms the edge of the hat, and then you do the brim. So once I've got all my take that off my head. Once I've got all my granny squares finished, I have made 8 up to this stage, so I need to do the 5th round of my granny squares, and at that point I'll be able to work out if maybe I might need to do an extra round to either make it big enough to go around my head, or, you know, just to make it fit better, or if the granny squares themselves are the right size, but I might need to increase the top bit just to bring it down my head a bit. So that's the adjustment that will be made. And it was a bit of a last minute thing because I saw the pattern that Elaine sent me. I thought it was cute. I love a granny square, and I had the yarn to do it, and I thought it looked like quite a relatively quick project, which it will be when I can sit down and put some work onto it. I'm feeling a bit frazzled this week from sort of getting ready for holiday and working and running errands and it being so blinking hot. So that is my bucket hat, very quick, and I don't know when that will be finished. That might be a good one to take along with me on holiday as well, actually, because then I'll have a knitting project and a crochet project, maybe. Or maybe I'll just work on it when I get back. But then this morning I started another project. Oh, I should say as well that the yarn, so I'm using a really small hook. It's 1.5mm, and the yarn I'm using is a combination of Drops Saffron and Drops I Love You, and they're both in yarn group A, which is fingering weight. So that's the yarn I'm using. In 3 different colours, of which I can't remember, but one is white. And then this morning, so I was, stupid idea. I don't know if I'm going to do it, but I always put together a little travel bag for the girls for when we go somewhere. When we go on holiday, it's usually going to involve quite a long car journey. And I put together a little bag with snacks and little things to do. And I usually do something handmade for that. I haven't this year. And then this morning I thought, maybe I could do something quick. I do this every year and I never learn. So I am making the Mini Pocket Bunny by Spinner Yarn Crochet. And all of her, well, the majority of her patterns are worked flat and then joined together with a seam round the outside and stuffed. It's really effective. So I started making that again with some of my stash cotton yarn, and this is what I've got so far. I've got the front of a bunny with one ear. It doesn't look much at the moment. So once I've done the other ear, I will then do the features on the face, and I will make a panel exactly the same but without the white detail for the back, and then I will crochet around the outside to bring it all together. This is a free pattern which I will link underneath, and if I do manage to get one finished, A, before we go away, and B, before I finish editing this podcast, I will put a little film on the screen now. But if there's no film on the screen now, that means I haven't finished it on time, and I will put a picture up of what the finished thing should look like from the pattern. It's ever so cute. I hope I do manage to get them finished. To be fair, I started this morning at about 9:30. I did it for about 20 minutes before Phoebe and I went out, and we were out for nearly 6 hours running errands and doing stuff. I had to go and have a patch test. I've got a tattoo that I've had since I was 19 on my shoulder, and it's gone really, really blurry. And I'm going to get it removed, and I had to go for a patch test for laser removal. That hurt. I'm getting it done because I want it done, but oh my goodness, that was sore. And that was one of the things we did, and I had my fringe trimmed and all kinds. So I did that, and then when we got back, whilst I was waiting for Dan to finish in here for half an hour, I did the rest. So, I mean, it is quick. It is quick. If I put a bit of work on it tonight, I reckon you never know, but I've got a lot of editing to do this week as well. So I will try. So those are the start of my little mini bunnies. Okay, now I'm going to have to get Lilia up here to do her bit, because she has got a work in progress to show you. She's just finishing off painting her toenails. She's going to come up in a couple of minutes. So one more thing, works in progress wise, I talked a lot last time about plans for making a lovely, great, cosy granny square garment with all of this. Hang on, it's all still here. It's all still out with this collection of gorgeous yellow yarns that I've got. Happy, happy. I have not yet settled on what I'm going to make with it, but it is still part of the grand plan. Here is Lilia. There you go.
Hello.
Oh, the light is reflecting in your glasses. Oh, can you take them off? Will you still be able to see?
Not really. No, I can't see the camera if I take them off.
That's okay. You don't need to see the camera. Don't put them there, you might shed on them. Can you see?
No.
But people can now see you. So Lilia, this is really awkward, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Lilia now can't see because I've made her take her glasses off, her new glasses. So I taught her to crochet and she picked it up very, very quickly, didn't you? So she wants to make a crochet sort of bralette crop top, and she's made all of these granny squares. I'm gonna hold one up.
Oh.
So they're just basic granny squares.
I can't tell if it's focusing.
Everything's out of focus for Lilia. There we go. So she's made how many of these?
14.
14 of these granny squares. I showed her once and she was away, weren't you?
Yeah, once or twice.
Yeah, I think yeah. And
you
she's
walked
done
me
and
through
it's
it once, and then you showed me how to start it again.
yeah.
Because I couldn't remember.
And have you been enjoying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's already got plans for her next project. She's going to make a bag.
Yes.
And I've given her one of my project bags to use, which is made by Suzanne, because Lilia loves bees.
I do.
So I thought, well, that will be perfect for her crochet project.
Little pins on them.
Yeah, oh, they were from Hillary. They were lovely. Yeah, so I put together a little thing with a needle for sewing in ends, and she's got little snips, and it's in one of my little Betsy Makes pouches. So she's got the full use, because I can't use everything that I've got. So it's really lovely to have other crafters in the family. Phoebe loves. She's learning to crochet as well, isn't she? But yeah, so she's gonna sew them together, and it's like a V-necked bralette type top that's very, very cropped, isn't it?
Yes.
And
it will be nice.
It will be, yeah. So we've got the stage she's at now. We've just got to sew it all together. It's really hot in here, isn't it?
It's so hot in
And
here.
my camera keeps overheating. Would you like to go back to the cooler area of the rest of the house?
I would.
You can put your glasses back on
I can see.
now. The world comes back into focus. Thank you for coming today. Oh, you bought your... Ow! You bought your other yarn up?
Yeah, it
Were
was
you
just
going-
in my project bag.
All right. I thought you were going to show it.
No.
Oh, okay. I can show it if you want.
No.
Let me hold it up. This is
It's
for...
just coloured yarn. What do they
But we all,
want it for?
because we all love yarn. This is what
Okay.
the whole point of what I'm doing is about. Why wouldn't I show the yarn? So this is all Women's Institute acrylic yarn from Hobbycraft, and this is for her next project.
Yeah.
Shall I keep it a surprise what your next project is, or shall I say? It's going to be...
Keep it a surprise.
Oh, right, okay. Surprise.
Then I can finish it, and then I can
Yeah, then you can...
model it.
Yes. You can model both at the same time.
Oh, I can.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah,
I wouldn't... Okay.
it's fine.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you, Lilia.
Bye bye.
You can go back to what you were doing.
Bye.
Bye. Oh, I'm so proud of her for picking it up. And Phoebe's learning as well, but it's so nice because Lydia's actually starting to look at things that she wants to make. So it's giving her the motivation to learn more. So yeah, I'm really proud of her. Right now though, I'm going to show you a blast from the past, or a project from yore. And this is something I have wanted to show. Oh, you just got a little glimpse there. I wanted to show this for ages, but I couldn't find him. Couldn't find where I put him, and then I was looking for something else entirely and I found him. This is a project that I made up. It's from 2011, so he's 11 years old. He is an alien and he's much bigger than I ever intended when I set out to make him. He's got stripy legs and a bit of a floppy head. This little scarf I made him primarily to keep his head from flopping. He's made entirely from Peyton's Smoothie yarn, which is a yarn I used to use a lot when I first started crocheting, but I don't really use, well, I never use it now. It's not something I really enjoy anymore. But at the time I did. He is a bit worse for wear. He's got a bit of stuffing coming out and he's got an odd stain on his face, probably just from where he's been stored in a bag. I was really pleased with how his ears came out. If I was to make another one of these, even if I made a smaller version, I would want to do the ears the same. But of course, I have no idea what I did to make this, because I think I just literally made it up as I went and did what I felt like doing. So I don't think he'll ever be replicated, my little alien. He is on my Ravelry. There's not much information about him, but he's kind of cute. So that is my blast from the past. I thought that would, yeah. He's kind of ridiculous, and I like ridiculous. Right, what can we talk about next? It's so hot in here. Oh my goodness, what can we talk about? I've got some incoming bit, so I might do that in a bit. Oh, let's do Skillshare. Right, don't skip this bit. Okay, so this video is very kindly sponsored by Skillshare, and as part of my collaboration with them, I have been undertaking different creative things to learn from the platform, from the Skillshare platform, to share with you as a way to kind of inspire you or to give you ideas. And the creative project that I undertook this time was epic. It was stress relieving, it was cathartic, it was magical, and it was just really, really silly as well. It just felt so playful and silly. Phoebe did it with me. So before I tell you more about that, I shall tell you a little bit more about Skillshare. They are an online learning community with thousands of online classes for creative people. They have knitting, drawing, painting, cooking, gardening, software, sewing, crochet, the list goes on and on. Photography, iPhone photography, social media, just everything you can think of that is slightly creative. You can find a class on Skillshare. I'm pretty sure it's everything. I can't possibly be exaggerating. And as part, like I say, as part of my collaboration with them, I do want to share the creative things that I've learned. So we tried, Phoebe and I, from nature to paper, how to craft colourful fine art with floral dye. And the name of the instructor was Peggy Dean. So I'm not sure if what we produced could be called fine art. And I will show you what we've done because I've got it here in front of me. But it was the best hour that we spent. It was so much fun, from the collecting of the flowers and foliage to use to the actual doing it. It was brilliant. So I'm going to show you a little video of what we did, and then I will show you the results. But before I show you the video, I must say that the first 1,000 people to join Skillshare using my special link that is in the description box underneath, and it's also in the pinned comment, the first 1,000 people to use that link will get 1 month entirely free trial, a 1 month entirely free trial of Skillshare. I cannot get my words out properly today. You'll have to excuse me. Just a dishevelled hot mess. So hopefully that was all clear. The links are below. You can get a 1 month free trial. It's so worth it. I'm really going to miss having my membership to Skillshare because I've learnt so much over the past 6 months of all the different things, and I just love it. So I'm going to show you the video now of what we did, and then I'll show you what we produced. See these ones here? Just pull one like that. You see it's still alive, but it's just a bit dry. Fluffy chicken butts.
Just take like a couple of petals as well.
I'm going to get a couple of grape leaves.
Some hydrangea ones.
Okay, they match your dress.
Come pick flowers.
I'm try a bit purple.
Mine looks like it stayed in place.
What can we use to scrape it off? Blunt knife.
She used the back of her hammer. Wow! Oh, I didn't smash the red when I was doing it. On yours.
Oh, look at the leaf.
That looks so cool.
Look at the leaf.
You've got a lot left.
So you can see there how much fun we had fun collecting the petals, choosing what might make good dye, finding flowers that had fallen on the floor, you know, bits of greenery and things that we thought might work or might not work, but we would give it a go. And it was really surprising, the things that had really strong dye and the things that didn't. And that was lovely, going around collecting things from the garden with the chickens like looking at us like, what are you doing? And then the hammering, you can actually see in some of the plants when you hammer it, you can see the dye coming out in splodges, like you're whacking something filled with paint. It is so amazing. Phoebe loved it. So I'm going to show you a couple of the ones that so I'll show you Phoebe's ones. No, I'll show you my one. So this is the first one I did. No, it's not, it's the second one I did. So I lined it all up in a kind of rainbow order, and then she shows you how to illustrate over the top of it to make an illustration using the splodges that you've made. She makes it look really easy, and it's not. I had a lot of fun though, so this is mine. And my proportions of my little illustration are completely all over the place, but I'm really pleased with it. It was so fun to do. This yellow actually came from some orange lilies that we have in the garden. The really deep purple is hydrangea petals, which were not that deep purple even themselves. The blue was lobelia, and the lovely greens were from various weeds, basically. So that was mine. And then Phoebe did many. She did 5. No, she didn't. She did 4. So here are the first 2 she did. She signed hers as well because she's like proper artistic. So these are Phoebe's first 2 that she did. So you can see the amazing colour that she got. And this one, she actually got some really good, the shape of the actual leaves on the stalk. So good. And then we ran out of the nice paper, so we turned to some cheaper watercolour paper. And I would say that the cheaper paper that's not as thick didn't work as well well, it worked for the getting the pigment, but it dented with hammering it, whereas the good quality paper didn't. So these are really pretty. This one in particular, her little bouquet. So these are the other two that she did. And then just to show you, because I kept my other one without an illustration over the top to show you what it looks like. Not sure which way you'd put it. And this was really interesting. The dog's going off on one again. This was really interesting because, I'll get up to show you so I can see in the camera as I'm talking. So again, the yellow came from the lily, and the bright purple from the hydrangea, the blue from the lobelia, and this brilliant one here, this leaf where you can see the skeleton of the leaf, came from a very dark leafed shrub that we've got in the garden, and it gave an amazing pigment, whereas some of the really brightly coloured leaves, like from the grapevine for example, just didn't give that kind of result at all. So that's my one without the illustration on top. So much fun. Go out in the garden, pick things, put some tracing paper on top, whack it with a hammer, see what you can get. It's so much fun. And I will put a link to that class underneath, and I will also list all the other classes I've spoken about over my time collaborating with Skillshare. So give it a go, because you know, you never know where it might take you. It has taken me to some very interesting places over the last 6 months. I've done needle point, I've done classes on social media, I've done my flower pounding, what else have I done? I've done, meditative doodling, and all kinds of different things. If you look underneath, I'll list all the classes that I've done, so it has been brilliant. I think that's it though. I think that is my 6 episodes that I've been sponsored by Skillshare done. I'm gonna miss it. It's been really nice to have that kind of focus to each episode, but there's lots more coming up in the autumn. So I'm sure I won't miss it when I'm trying to put together podcasts with lots of other stuff at the same time. But I will really. Okay, moving on to books and stuff. This is where I talk about things I've been reading, listening to, watching, and everything like that. So at the moment I am reading The Lollipop Shoes by Joanne Harris. Which I borrowed from my friend Suzanne, who I mentioned earlier, who's been Lumpkin Yarns. I am really enjoying this. It's a really big book for me, and I can sometimes feel a little bit overwhelmed. But I'm enjoying it so much that I feel like I'm reading it a lot quicker than I thought I would. It's such a magical book. It's just full of magic, and it's set in France, and there's chocolate, and it's just lovely. I'm really enjoying it. So originally I was thinking I would leave this at home while we go away for a week and take this quite small book, which I bought recently, the Midwich Cuckoos. But I'm not going to. I'm just going to take this book and keep reading that whilst I'm on holiday. I'm really enjoying it. It's the follow-up to Chocolat. Oh, shut up, next door's dog. He was doing this last night and he was barking, I think, until about 10 o'clock before someone came home. It's the last time I'm mentioning it. I am listening to, well, I've just finished Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty, which a friend of mine recommended, and I listened to that on BorrowBox, which is it's free, and you enter your library card details, and I think it's worldwide. Quite a few people said they use it in Australia, and you can listen to audiobooks for free. You have to borrow them in the same way that you would at the library. So if they're not in, you have to kind of reserve them and everything. It's really good. So I listened to Big Little Lies by Leanne Moriarty and I really enjoyed that. And then I listened to The Wild Year by Jen Benson. It's about her and her family, due to financial difficulties and various other things, decided they were going to spend a year living in a tent in the UK, and I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, and it was a really, really lovely book, really, really nice tale. It was quite a short book and I really enjoyed it. Now I am listening to, I bought from Audible, Micro Adventures by Alistair Humphreys, but I think I might return it. I'm not sure. Yeah, it's not quite what I expected. yeah, it's not a great listen. I'm not like, oh, I must listen to my audio, but I don't know. If I do end up listening to it for a while and enjoying it, I won't return it, obviously, but I'll let you know next time how that goes. Watching wise, we've just finished watching Sherwood on, I can't remember what channel that was on, and that was good. Bit of an anticlimax at the end, I felt, but we enjoyed it. It kept us hooked. We watched The Last Neighbours as well. My boss is Australian, so he had recommended that we watch it, and I'm so glad we did, because so many of the old characters made cameos, but Guy Pearce, who's like proper Hollywood actor, came back and did a full-on part in the last couple of episodes, so that was really good. And we also watched the series with Wim Hof, where he takes a load of celebrities somewhere cold and they do different challenges in the cold. We quite enjoyed that. And now we need something else. We need some good binge-worthy series to watch, so please give me your recommendations for anything on either Amazon Prime, Netflix, iPlayer, those kind of things, which we could watch. Nothing too gritty. Yeah, I think Sherwood's about as gritty as I get. So, yeah, let me know what you've been watching. Right, let's talk about some incoming stuff before my camera overheats again. I've already shown you my lovely mug from Susan. I also got another lobster-related gift. Lovely surprise from Bethany. She sent me one of Simply Serving's stitch markers. I love Simply Serving. I follow her on Instagram, and she does these little sort of making reels where you see how she makes lots and lots of her stitch markers in one go. It's really satisfying to watch. But she sent me a little lobster. Isn't it so cute? Oh, I love it. And it's in this gorgeous little box. It's got a little celestial bear on the front. Yeah, so it's really, really lovely. So I've just been keeping that out on the side and just looking at it at the moment. I'm still in the stage of admiring and not using. So thank you for that, Bethany. That was a lovely, lovely surprise. What else? What else did I want to... Oh, yes. Oh, yarn. Right. Okay. So last week, the girls and my mum and I, we went down to Petticoat Lane Emporium in Ramsgate, which we've been to a few times before. It's amazing kind of eclectic mix of antiques and vintage and handmade stuff. And I bought some yarn. There was some zebra yarn there by a local dyer called Pippin Yarns. It's hand-dyed in Kent, I believe. I looked her up when I got back on Etsy, and it is hand-dyed in Kent. So I got myself some, and it was so beautifully priced that I got another one to use as a prize or a giveaway later in the year. So the one I got myself, oh no, which one? I can't remember which one I got myself and which one I got as a giveaway now. Oh well, one's going to be for me and one's going to be the giveaway or the prize. So it is Pippin Yarns, hand-dyed yarn, kits and inspiration for time-poor makers. There's the label. Oh, look at that, isn't it lovely? This is Not Les Mis Dark Zebra. It's 100% Highland wool. You get 400 meters in 100 grams. And then I got this beautiful blue, which is called Smurfabra. 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 How would you say that? Smurfabra. And that is just lovely, isn't it? And together. They're nice together actually, aren't they? So yeah, so I picked up those. So that's another incoming thing. And then I met up with my friend Sarah a few weeks ago, and she gave me a belated birthday present, which was very, very generous and kind of her. And as part of my present, she gave me some hand knit socks. And if we're knitters of handmade socks, we always very much appreciate hand knit socks being given to us. So I haven't got any sock blockers in which to show it to you properly to hand, but they have got afterthought heels. They're in the most gorgeous, they were so beautifully folded as well, like that, in the most gorgeous self-striping yarn. Oh, it might not be self-striping actually, she might have done that herself. And then the heel is that lovely mini. There we go. Oh, so they're just lovely. I shall look forward to wearing these as much as I shall look forward to it being cold enough to wear these. Oh, I can't wait. I'm going to put those there to put them in my sock drawer. Is there anything else that I want to mention about incoming? Nothing else that I can think of that I'm going to share with you today. I just wanted to mention that I do know how lucky I am to receive gifts and to be able to buy yarn, or to receive gifts of hand knit socks and just general knitting and crafty gifts. I do know how lucky I am, and I cannot tell you how grateful and how appreciative I am. So thank you. And yeah, that's it for incoming. We have made it to and finally, thank goodness, because I think my camera is going to explode soon, and it's getting very, very hot in here. And finally, just to mop up all the bits at the end, don't forget to stay tuned to This Little Wonderful Life, what I'm up to. The most recent vlog that I've published as I talk is about, we tried paddle boarding for the first time, which I absolutely fell in love with. In fact, we are going back tomorrow night for another paddle board as a family. But by the time this is published, hopefully there'll also be another vlog about our family weekend, our Hinimpenyo celebration as well. And then after that, it will be all about our holiday to Lancashire, which I'm so excited for. I also just wanted to say thank you to everyone who, in the last episode, I'm still catching up on comments. I did quite well, and then I just completely got behind on comments. So I'm really sorry if I haven't given your comment a heart or responded to any questions as yet. I've just got so overwhelmed and behind lately. But so many of you gave amazing tips for places to go near to where we're staying, which is just south of the Forest of Bowland. And we're going to be going to Blackpool and maybe Liverpool as well. So I've been writing all of those down into a big list, which we're going to take with us for ideas whilst we're away. So thank you so much. And just thank you for all your comments, your likes, your Ko-fi donations, for subscribing. It all makes such a difference to how my channel performs on YouTube and the ability for me to keep making these videos. And I love doing it. So it's just brilliant that I get to do this. So thank you for watching and for being here and liking and subscribing and all of that. It makes a huge difference to a small channel like mine. So thank you. And just, yeah, we've had a lot of major changes. Both the girls have finished their respective schools. Lilia is moving on to her further education. She'll be doing sixth form and A-levels. She'll get her GCSE results at the end of August, and she'll know then what she's doing. And Phoebe has just left primary school, and she'll be starting secondary school in September. So there's been huge amounts of stuff going on in relation to that. It's been so overwhelming, but I just think everybody's feeling like that at the moment. It just seems that life over the last 6 months has sped up ridiculously, and everything feels impossible. And so many people have been saying the same thing. So I hope that you're managing to stay on top of it, or at least finding some time to stay sane and find a bit of knitting or crochet or crafting time to keep you grounded and keep you calm. Yeah, I think that's it. So we made it through. It is now, oh my goodness, it's 6:30. It's 25 degrees. My camera's just about to start overheating again. So I'm going to say until next time, have a wonderful summer. I will see you in September. Happy knitting, happy crocheting, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.